Hello and welcome back to another episode of Charla Football. I'm your host, as always, Gerardo, and finally got my co-host on Tomas. It's good to have you back, bro. You've been missing for a few buds, but I love having you here. We got some La Liga to talk about. We got Madrid dropping points once again, which is just insane to see, given that they have Mbappe. We got Barcelona top of the table. We have to talk about Atleti too, who dropped points over the weekend, or actually yesterday, because we're on the third match week already. And then they have more games going on this weekend. But let's just cover some of the big results at the match weekend at this week so far. But before we get into it, make sure you guys follow, support the channel, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. All the links will be down below to all our socials. But Tomas, how you doing, bro? I mean, what do you think of this whole mess? First off, let's start with Madrid because they're the biggest talking point. What do you think about this whole mess with Mbappe, bro?
It's just, I mean, I called it. I called it a long time ago. I said that if Mbappe went to Madrid, just be an imbalance of superstars like how we seen in the 2002 Galactico. So I expected it to happen. I'm happy that it's happening. I'm excited that it's happening. I love to see it.
Bro, you can't say that. They're the biggest team in Europe. You can't be excited for their
They're playing like the smallest one.
3 games.
And it's funny to see.
It's sad to see because there's so much hype around Mbappe. There's so much hype over this transfer. It is the beginning of the season, so they have a lot of time to really start fixing things. But from what we see so far, I mean, there's really no improvement. And like you said, it's just an imbalance all over the pitch. I think the most important missing piece that they're like missing out on is the fact that Cruz isn't there and that Camavinga is injured too, because I feel like those two players provide a lot of stability like as a number six. And really they don't have a lone number six. Valverde isn't a number six. He's a box to box midfielder. Chouameni, he is a number six, but he's still young. He's still pretty raw. He needs a lot more time to develop. And then Modric is 38 years old. You can't really ask much from him anymore. I mean, he got the start, but he didn't play. I mean, I wouldn't say he played incredibly well. I don't think anyone on that Madrid team played incredibly well. They played against Las Palmas today. We literally just finished watching the game, and they drew 1-1 in a match where Las Palmas were honestly, they were dominating, not in the sense that they had more possession, more shots, but they had Madrid where they wanted him, where they wanted them. I mean, similar to a match that we saw against Mallorca, where they got an early lead. And then they resisted any Madrid attack. And you know that against Madrid right now, you can do that. You can try to get that goal and then just wait it out, because really while they have creative players up front, I don't think it's enough to really break down a deep defensive block like we saw with Las Palmas today, bro. So it's unfortunate to see, because I mean, Mbappe coming to La Liga it should be something wonderful for the league, but right now, I mean, he really hasn't produced when you're expecting him to.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the problem with Madrid is that, you have great attackers, you have great midfielders, you have very good defenders, and you have a great goalkeeper. But the thing is that they're forgetting about one position, and it's the creative position of a number 10. They don't have one.
Yeah.
And I mean, you were able to skate by that with last season having Tony Cruz, who was able to give you those through balls, those creative passes that would create opportunities and give these forwards instances where they're through on goal easily.
Mm.
And now you take that out and you realize that creatively you don't have shit anymore. You're out of ideas. Your players are doing what they're used to doing, which is getting balls from Tony Cruz, but Tony Cruz isn't there to provide them anymore. And for Mbappe, I mean, he's just lost. He's like, I feel like I honestly think it'd be better if Mbappe was benched for right now, at least because to use a team that at least knows each other a little bit more from last season, and then fit Mbappe into that, because right now it's like, I don't even think it's Mbappe's fault. The fact that this team just doesn't look on point makes everybody pointed towards him, so it looks back, but it's just the team overall.
Yeah,
have no balance.
It's definitely not all on Mbappe. I mean, you can see that he's trying, he's putting in the effort, he's running, he's trying to take players 1v1, but I don't know, something's just not clicking. I mean, you have to remember that La Liga is a very technical league compared to what we've seen before in the past. In Ligue 1, he has a lot more space to run in behind. And here, I mean, most of the teams, they know to just sit back and just wait it out, and he has really no time on the ball. I mean, these guys pressure him like there's already two people on Mbappe at every given moment. So it's something that he needs to adjust. And like you said, there needs to be that adjustment period. And I think just starting him off the bat, taking taking off players like Rodrigo, who did not start and who's honestly started off the season well here. He had, I think, 2 goals for the season. Those are not the players that you should be benching. Someone that already has chemistry within the team, that has been there and has already won titles. Like, you should start integrating someone like Mbappe. And I understand that it's their star signing. I understand that it's Kylian Mbappe, one of the best players in the world, but it's a new league. It's a new culture. It's overall, it's just he needs time to adapt like any normal player would.
Yeah, I mean, if Madrid is the big team they say they are, then they should allow their manager the balls to bench what is to right now for a lot of people the best player in the world, because it's what's good for the team. I mean, Ancelotti's been known for his tactical ideology, and I mean, he right now knows that Mbappe starting is not working.
Bro, you can see it in his face too. He was so upset in the last 10 minutes of the game, knowing that it's most likely going to end 1-1. And you can tell, I knew that in his head, he was probably thinking, like, if I could take Mbappe off right now, but Florentino Perez, Papa Perez, he's calling the shots right now. He's telling him that he cannot take him off for whatever reason, because he took off everybody else but him.
Yeah, I mean, and Rodrigo gives you the balance where you can score. Vinicius, although not the best, he creates a lot. He does create a lot going down the left wing.
You said not the best?
No, like although not the best in a lot of people's eyes, because he's a good left winger, but a lot of people think Mbappe is better. Some people will say that Jude is more influential in the team.
A Jude that wasn't even in right now. He's injured, so just throw that in.
Well, in terms of, like, how would I say, in the squad, a lot of people underappreciate Vinicius. I think he's one of the better players in Real Madrid, obviously, but I mean, he's just, when you have Vinny and Rodrigo, it's dangerous. But when you have Vinny by himself, it's all right. When you have Rodrigo by himself, it's okay. But just the chemistry that they bring together, it's different. It's better. Vinny and Rodrigo is a better pairing right now than Vinny and Mbappe, and I feel like a lot of people can agree with me like that.
And the chemistry just overall, it's not there. It's the truth. It's really not there. We see it on the pitch, and I mean, maybe off of the pitch, on social media, in public, everything looks cool and they're homies, and that's great, and they probably are. But on the pitch right now, it's not producing there, and if it's not producing there, that's the most important part of the game, obviously.
Yeah, so honestly, going back to the Galacticos, it feels like one of those marketing strategies. I feel like, I mean, if I was watching the David Beckham documentary, and every like instance where there's paparazzi pictures, it's David Beckham, R9, Figo, all of those guys just looking like they're having a good time in training, just laughing around and everything, and that's cool and all. They're the best players in the world as like to what it is now, but at the end of the day, that team didn't win a Champions League, and I feel like that's where this team is going as well.
Yeah,
even though they're building something, it seems like they're building nothing.
Yeah, we'll see what happens later on into the season. I guess it's still the beginning, so I mean, there's so many games to be played, so many minutes in to dispute. So I guess we'll see what happens down the line. But right now, they've gone 3 games played, only 1 game won, and they've dropped 4 points. Mbappe is on track to go 007, 0 goals, 0 assists, and 7 matches played. So we'll see what happens with him. Now let's talk about the team that's top of the table right now. Barcelona, they're getting it done. While it's not in the most convincing fashion, they're doing the dirty work. They're getting the results, and they've gone 9 for 9, 3 games out of 3 games, all wins. And it was a difficult game in Madrid as well against a Rayo Vallecano team that just signed James Rodriguez. So that's an exciting signing for them. And I mean, they played well overall in the first half, but that second half was all Barcelona. And Barcelona right now, especially given Lewandowski's in good form, I think if you give them a few chances, they'll put him away. They're going to put him away. And that's exactly what happened. They only had a few chances on goal, a few controversial, what could have been called penalties, and they did what they had to do. They got 3 points, they got the win, and they're happy. Hansi Flick is doing an incredible job. I think the only downside right now is the fact that another 17-year-old player is out injured on an ACL injury, Marc Bernal. Sad to see, bro, because I mean, these kids are raw, they're young, they're natural talents, and over here getting ACL injuries, going to be out for the rest of the season. It's so fucking horrible to see.
Yeah, I mean, he's out for the rest of the season. That's like probably not even training till probably like March or April. So it's
Bro, he's gonna be out for a minute. From what I understand, he's gonna be out all season. But I guess we'll see how the recovery process goes. But as a Barcelona, from a Barcelona perspective, I think, I mean, there's not much you can complain. I mean, given all the financial problems outside of the club, and given all the or inside of the club, given all the drama that's going on in and around the club, I think it's a good start. I think talking on the field is the most important place to be talking.
yeah, for sure.
And then going to Atleti, that's another interesting one. They've also in a similar situation that Madrid are in, where they got one win and then two draws. I believe they drew against Villarreal in the first La Liga match day, and then they drew just yesterday against Espanyol, against a a freshly promoted Espanyol team, who, I mean, really don't have any players that stood out to me. They had a few chances that probably could have made it 1-0 if they wanted to, but I think the biggest talking point here in an Atleti standpoint is that they had so many opportunities to make the game 2 to 5-0 if they wanted to, especially in that first half, but they don't have that touch of clinicality that they need up front, which is weird when you have the likes of Julian Alvarez and Sorloth up top. But
Yeah, I
they
mean,
had their chances, bro. They couldn't put them away.
yeah, I mean, I was watching the replay, and I was just wondering, like, in 12 minutes, they missed 6 opportunities. No, it was a Sorloth header. It was Julian Alvarez hitting it. Not so much missing it. It was a good shot, but saved. And Julian Alvarez again hitting it, skying it a little bit from his left foot. It was just so many opportunities. I forgot who, but he hit the bottom right post. And I was just thinking, like, wow, like, Cholo Simeone's got to be pissed off right now. Because
Yeah,
for a manager that goes, early 2016, 17, well, 2014, 15, 16, 17, all that whole era, I remember after the opportunity to get, they score, and then locked in the back. That's it. And then they wait for the opposition to get, what I say,
desperate almost.
desperate, and then they score a second one and close the game.
Yeah.
But now it feels like they create a lot, which is great, but it's almost like they've forgotten that second part of defending. And now that they're good at creating a lot, they forgot how to finish, which is weird because before it was Atleti creates a little but scores, and now it's Atleti creates a lot but
They can't finish.
very
They're not
few.
clinical.
So it's different, but it is a process because that Cholo Simeone is gonna have to work with these players and just have to get them up to speed.
Yeah, especially given that there's so many new players, so many new faces in this Atleti team. It's gonna take some time for some of them to understand what it's like to play for a team like Atleti under El Cholo Simeone, who is not an easy coach. He's very different to most of the coaches in Europe, especially in the modern game. But I mean, just from what I saw in that first half, bro, like specifically, they have to be so much better up front. And I understand there were some moments where even the goalkeeper stood out, but just overall, just they need to be so much better. And I'm looking at Julian Alvarez, I'm looking at Sorloth, Griezmann coming off of the bench. I mean, who's going to be the one to fix these problems up front? Who's going to be the one that's going to take this Atleti team and score braces and hat tricks? And I mean, I don't know which one out of those three are going to be the ones that's going to be stepping up this season.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see. And I mean,
who do you think?
I feel like it's got to be Julian Alvarez and Sorloth. But then again, I still remember they have Antoine Griezmann on the team, and he shows up a lot in crucial instances. So they do have that veteran veteran player in him. But then, like, so for finishing, there's that part. They have Antoine Griezmann. They have Julian Alvarez, who's a great 9 as well as Sorloth. He's a upcoming great 9. But my worry for them is defensively. When they play strong teams who can compete with them offensively, they struggle a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen that, what was it, 2 matches ago with I forgot who, but it was like 3-3.
So it was 2-2 against Villarreal.
Oh, 2-2 versus Villarreal. And it's like, like, Atleti giving up 2 goals. Like, yes, you're scoring 2, but then you're giving up 2. It's the equivalent of scoring none.
Yeah, it's very unlike Atleti. And I think just the problem is the fact that they have an aging defensive line. When you have Aspilicueta, Witsel, Jose Maria Jimenez, I think he did get the start, but those two specifically, bro, both born in the 80s, like you got to start looking toward. And I think Lenormand played too. I think he actually started that game over Jose Maria Jimenez. But I mean, you can't rely on Lenormand to carry the back line. I mean, he needs better defenders around him. And those two that I just listed, Witzel and Aspilicueta, they are not in their prime anymore.
Yeah, it's sad to see, but I mean they are older players. We seen them in their prime and we enjoyed watching them, but they're not players that you start anymore. They're players that you maybe bring on the last 15 minutes, to close out a game because they have the experience too. But it's they're not in that instance of their career anymore.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with Atleti. I mean, overall, I mean, they got a point, but at the Wanda, they got to be winning these games, especially against a newly relegated team like Espanyol. Barcelona, top of the league. Real Madrid still got a lot of things to figure out, but that's really the main talking points of this match week so far. Athletic Club did get a win against Valencia. Our boy Alex Padilla did not start, which sucks to see because he was doing so well in the first two league matches, and then he comes in and the second string goalkeeper or third string, no, second string goalkeeper Aguirre Zavala, he's back from injury, and we all knew that at some point he was going to get his chance, but I didn't think it was going to be that quick. That Ernesto Valverde was going to take him out. So it was unfortunate from a Mexican standpoint, but um, Athletic Club did get the win. They did keep a clean sheet, so I think Ernesto Valverde is probably going to keep it like that for now. So maybe he just provides a little bit of stability that Alex Padilla doesn't right now, or maybe more stability to the back line.
Yeah, I mean, I really like Alex Padilla. I feel like these two games were just he made incredible saves.
Yeah.
And I don't see an error to take him out. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens on the weekend.
Yeah, definitely. But that's pretty much everything so far in this match week in La Liga. Those are the main topics I want to talk about. I want to thank you for hopping on. Make sure you guys follow, subscribe, like this video if you want to see more of La Liga. Just tune in, and we're going to talk about Mexico, Liga MX, all that good stuff. Premier League as well this weekend. So make sure you guys stay tuned, and we'll see you guys on the next pod. Peace out.